A bird's-eye view of a popular live music venue on its first night at the Calgary Stampede showed hundreds of people standing close together, waiting for a swab or to hand over proof of the COVID-19 vaccination. By night's end Thursday, thousands had come in and out of the 18-plus party tent called Nashville North, believed to be the first major venue in Canada to enforce testing or require healthcare information to enter. The popular open-air concert hall is open each day and night during the 10-day Western Festival and Rodeo. New safety measures adopted by the Stampede this year include cutting daily attendance in half. Staff and volunteers are also required to wear masks and get COVID-19 rapid tests. In order to enter Nashville North, patrons must have proof of having had at least one COVID-19 vaccine shot 2 weeks prior. Otherwise, a negative rapid test result at the tent door or at an entrance to the Stampede grounds. Jim Laurendeau, the Stampede's vice president, said visitors have so far been good-natured about conditions of entry to the music party. As of Friday morning, he was unaware of any positive cases resulting from rapid tests. We find ourselves in this position just by virtue of the timing of our event at the end of this pandemic, said Laurendeau. In a rare instance when someone tests positive for COVID, they will be asked by the medical professionals to leave Stampede Park and return home and contact Alberta Health Services. Should an individual refuse to leave or behave inappropriately, Laurendeau said police would be called in to assist as a last resort. Security is also on the grounds throughout the event. Alberta was the first province in Canada to relax nearly all of its public health measures on July 1st, including its province-wide mask mandate and cap on gatherings. A city of Calgary vote shortly after removed a mask bylaw just in time for Stampede. If it wasn't for medical professionals dressed head to toe in personal protective equipment outside Nashville North, the venue would be a flashback to previous Stampedes with huge crowds dressed in Western get-up and downing boozy beverages. On Friday afternoon, lines were moving quickly. It took just minutes for people to receive bright pink wristbands signaling their approved status to enter the venue. For those undergoing rapid tests, it took about 15 minutes from swabbing to get results. Will Mounds, who was visiting from British Columbia, said it was an easy process after he showed proof of his vaccination. I think it's good, but honestly, I don't really care. The whole sense of normalcy, coming in and having crowds of people, is fantastic, said Mounds. I feel safe enough. I mean, we're all going to die of something. Others said they felt the same way, as they sat at picnic tables spread throughout the venue, allowing for more space than in previous years. First-time Stampede attendees Ben Powell and Amy Driscoll, who moved to Calgary just months ago from the United Kingdom, expressed a similar sense of relief for returning to life as it once was. We've been double vaccinated now, so it's got to end sometime. We either have to live with it or get back to normal, said Powell. They both said Nashville North requirements make them feel safer because they know the person dancing or sitting next to them has either tested negative for the virus or been vaccinated. Donna Drummond, who took a rapid test to get inside, said it was nothing, just 3 seconds in each side of her nose. I did have my vaccination, but where I went they didn't have any cards and I'm not going to carry around a full sheet of paper. So whatever, I did the rapid test, said Drummond, who used to work at the Stampede. I just wish they would open everything up. I miss international travelers. The Calgary Stampede officially got underway on Friday and became the first legal mass gathering of people in Alberta since the COVID-19 pandemic hit the province nearly a year and a half ago. The event's organizers say while they are excited about it, the 10-day event will be a scaled-down version of past Stampedes. Some areas on the Stampede grounds are restricting entry to visitors who can prove they have been at least partially vaccinated against COVID-19 or are willing to take a rapid COVID-19 test. Despite the precautions, some medical experts have raised questions about whether it is wise to hold massive events at this stage of the pandemic, especially when only about half the province's population has been fully vaccinated against the disease. Citing health and safety concerns, some prominent sponsors have publicly distanced themselves from this year's Stampede, although they have maintained their financial support for it. Alberta's Chief Medical Officer of Health Dr. Dina Hinshaw has said in the past that she does not believe the Stampede will pose a significant risk to the healthcare system. It's the first big test of summer, not just for Calgary, but even in the country, said Cindy Adey, the CEO of Tourism Calgary. Most operators of events and festivals are carefully watching what is going to happen over the next 10 days, because it's going to inform them if they can come back this summer. The Calgary Stampede has told Global News that its operating plans have been reviewed and supported by Alberta Health and the Chief Medical Officer of Health. The current Stampede format was made possible when Alberta lifted almost all of its COVID-19 restrictions on July 1st, including the requirement to wear a mask indoors. The move came after the number of coronavirus hospitalizations declined and once 70% of eligible Albertans had received a first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. The Stampede says volunteers and employees working at the event will wear a mask. It has been 16 of the toughest months I've ever seen, ever, not just in our city, worldwide, in this industry, Adey said. Leslie Plumley, the president of Calgary-based event planning firm LP Events, said she believes Stampede organizers have done an excellent job of looking at how to ensure the city's signature event is safe. Am I looking at the Stampede? Absolutely, because I want to see Plumley said. We are getting calls. So we're planning for late into the year, but we're also seeing demand increase for major sporting events that are coming to Calgary for the following year. She added that she has noticed hesitancy from clients when it comes to planning events and she is committed to moving forward cautiously. During this pandemic and post-pandemic, we are going to be making sure that every little tiny thing is going to be looked after, Plumley said. She acknowledged that the Calgary Stampede will be under a magnifying glass as it is the first event of its size to go forward since Alberta emerged from public health restrictions last week. I wouldn't want to be the Stampede at all, Plumley said. They have a lot of weight on their shoulders to make sure that everything goes spectacular and cases do not rise during Stampede. I am very respectful that they are going ahead and going forward. Anne-Marie Dorland, an associate professor of marketing at Mount Royal University, said she believes the Calgary Stampede faces a challenge in putting yourself out there as a brand, to be trying something new. They have a lot of support and partnership from the medical establishment, from community partners. But it is tough to be first out of the gate, she said. When asked if the Calgary Stampede's brand could be hurt if a COVID-19 outbreak is linked to the event, Dorland said it's always damaging to think about an event that's linked to an outbreak of any kind. But the mitigation that they're putting in place with the distancing, wider aisles, digital queuing, the Nashville North precautions that they're putting in place, they are really setting the bar high for what is expected for their involvement, for keeping everybody safe, she said. All of this is really a first for Canada and it's going to be a big change for the Stampede itself, as a brand, as they try to maintain the story they're telling to Canadians. When asked how damaging it would be to the Calgary Stampede's brand in the event COVID-19 outbreaks are linked to the event, a spokesperson for the Stampede said organizers recognize this is a time of transition. We recognize that there is both public excitement and some questions, and we remain committed to operating safely, meeting and exceeding all public health guidelines and continuing to work with partners to assess the situation and to make real-time decisions, spokesperson Christina Barnes said. Adi said she also believes safety will be paramount for this year's Stampede, especially as we are all coming out of our cave after 15 months, to really be clear in their communication about the things that they're doing to create safety for people as they look at these events. Adi said hotel operators and event planners have seen their businesses be battered by the pandemic, and she believes the Stampede offers a sign of life. It is the major event in this industry for the city of Calgary, she said. Do we expect it to be at the 2019 levels? No, we do not. It will be muted in comparison, but a lot of it is about the beginning of the industry coming back to life.